Well, the Lakers held or dropped that championship banner in the in-season tournament. What would you say? Unveiled it? That's a better word. They unveiled their championship banner. The internet exploded, mocking the Lakers. Rick Bucher joins us live. 30 years covering the sport. This was we were tickled by this because, listen, they didn't make it look like the other banners. I think they were doing the NBA a solid. Yeah. They were doing the NBA a solid. Yeah. Around the league, people that cover the league, how did they view what the Lakers did, unveiling the banner?
Oh, they're kind of laughing at it, to be honest with you. I mean, they look at the in-season tournament as being a great addition. It accomplished what the league wanted. But in terms of celebrating having won the in-season tournament, as one executive said to me, look, it's barely above winning the Summer League title. And the value is that there were some regular season wins mixed into it, so it's more valuable than the Summer League title. But that's about it, because not everybody was trying to win the in-season tournament, and I would argue certainly not as much as the Lakers and LeBron James were trying or were committed to trying to win the in-season tournament. So the problem with doing the banner, and I'm with you 100% in terms of, I'm convinced that the league said, okay, whoever wins this thing, you have to put up a banner. You have to celebrate it. And that's how the Lakers got caught in this, because it not only looks silly next to all those championship banners, but it also drags back that the last championship or last banner they hung was in the bubble, which was another different sort of scenario than your typical championship. So I believe at this point, the best gift that anyone could give the Lakers is one of those little bands, that WWJD, what would Jesus do? Except it should be WWKD, what would Kobe do? And Kobe would not hang that banner in a million years. In fact, if he was alive right now, I dare say he would be climbing up there, pulling it down, cutting it up into a million pieces, and burning it, because it's so below the standard of the Lakers franchise. It's one thing, look, if Sacramento won it, Indiana won it, fine. They don't have championship banners up in the rafters. Celebrate that you did the first of this. But for the Lakers, it's really beneath them.
So the Warriors very Steph Curry.
I couldn't tell, by the way. You were on social media about it, and I couldn't tell if you were being tongue-in-cheek, or whether you were legitimately mocking people.
Yes,
for mocking the in-season tournament.
A little tongue-in-cheek. It doesn't mean anything to me, but I thought it was funny that it got people worked up. So Steph's a one-man team right now. Draymond's out. Wiggins is a bench player. Clay's past his prime. Sarge can't defend. Not much of a bench, blah, blah, blah. But I thought the story last night is that Steph got into foul trouble, and they didn't attack him. And they just hoisted up threes. And down the stretch for the Celtics, fourth quarter overtime, once again, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, meh. What did you make of this deeper, more talented team, Boston, down the stretch being manipulated by 35-year-old Steph Curry, and Tatum was not really a go-to guy? That's what it appears to me.
The takeaway for me is that I was silly to ever think that a Boston Celtics team coached by Joe Mazzulla and led by Jason Tatum is going to win a championship. And that's what I thought coming into the season. I thought they've learned their lessons. They learned their lesson from last year. Jason Tatum's going to be a different guy. Drew Holiday is going to be a stabilizer that Marcus Smart was not. And that this thing is going to come together. And what I saw once again was no direction. I mean, I think they set a record for missed threes, the Boston Celtics did. You're playing a small ball Warriors who on their best days, don't have any rim protection, and you continue to hoist threes from long range when you're not making them. It made absolutely no sense. Jason Tatum, tweaked his ankle earlier in the game, could not get past Jonathan Kuminga. So I'm just looking at this as a more of a referendum on what the Celtics are and they aren't. And in association with that, I look at the other teams in the Eastern Conference, the 76ers in particular. There may never be a better chance for Joel Embiid and the 76ers to get to the finals than this year as a result of what I've seen from the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, I admit I was wrong on the Clippers. They were awful early. One ball, too many stars. Westbrook, to his credit, said, I'll go to the bench. I do think Ty Lue has, in his career, played and coached with needier Ty Lue with needier high-maintenance players. So Ty Lue's a good fit as a coach here. He's confrontational. He'll burrow, unlike Mike D'Antoni, he'll burrow through problems. Like, he will confront you. So I think Ty Lue is perfect for this kind of roster, although he probably would have other options if he could. It's not a perfect roster. Is it a viable roster? Because right now they're winning. Is it a viable roster in May, June?
No. I don't know that you need to apologize, Colin. I think you're on the mark. They have beaten some good teams in this stretch, and they look much better than they certainly did when they first came together. But there's still a leadership question here. There's still a health issue with this team. And look, they got embarrassed. They lost to a Denver Nuggets team at one point without any of their stars. They were getting beat on their home floor by teams that didn't have their best players. And so they've gathered themselves to a certain extent, and they've started to demonstrate that they are talented. I mean, look, they got 4 all-time 75 players on the roster. Yeah. You should be able to beat some teams during the regular season, particularly the Utah Jazzes and the Washington Wizards, which they have. So good on them for doing that. But look, it's a slog, and it takes a certain amount of mental and physical tenacity to get somewhere in the postseason. And they just have none of the players we're talking about have demonstrated that to any end, unless they were surrounded by a group that carried them as far as the toughness and the tenacity. So I am not taking this latest stretch. I've done this before. You've done this before, Colin. We can't keep doing this. Like, we look at the Clippers, and have they had talent in the past? Absolutely. Can't tell you how many times I've said, this is the year. The Clippers are going to get over being the Clippers. And every year, it's like the Dallas Cowboys. Like, this is the year. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid anymore. The Clippers are going to be the Clippers, and until they find a nucleus, a true leader, superstar nucleus, I'm not buying that anything they do in the regular season is going to translate to a championship.
Rick Bucher, we're up against it. We got to run. It's great seeing you as always, buddy. Appreciate it.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you and the fam. Rick Bucher.